Well, it's a great day, and it's an exciting day for so many folks. Thank you all so much for coming out here today. The county is really proud of this facility. I can't thank our county council enough. Obviously, it takes money to do an awful lot of stuff, and it's the members of our leadership body that afford us the opportunity to do this, and of course our citizens who pay the taxes to allow us to have the money to be able to do this. It is my great honor to present to you our chairman of County Council, Ms. Debbie Summers.
Good morning. It is such a pleasure to be here, and I am just elated with the crowd. It says a lot about Lexington County and the people of our county, and how we are supportive of our veterans, and how we are supportive of the elections process. So I appreciate you being here. Before I go any further, I want to make sure that I introduce some of our elected officials that are here with us today. Representative Kit Spires, who you will hear from shortly. My fellow council members, Scott Whetstone, Darrell Hudson, Todd Cullum, thank you all for being here today. We have our Sheriff Jay Kuhn in the crowd somewhere, I believe. There you go, thank you, Jay. And Tina Geary, our Register of Deeds. There she is back there. Thank you all. And if I've missed anyone, I apologize. I hope that I haven't. But on behalf of County Council, and truly on behalf of the people that we represent, that's really all we are, is a representative of the people that we serve. So on behalf of them, we are excited to be able to get something like this done, for our veterans to come and to have a place where you can meet and talk to someone, get services, whatever it might be. And I know that for many of you, you're helping somebody else get here, and that's important. So we're thankful that we were able as a county to be able to provide the funding that we could do this. We couldn't do it without the vision of our staff leadership though. They're in it every day. They're here and they're talking to the leadership here at this building. They knew what the needs were. They brought them to us. We may have taken a vote of confidence to move forward with seeking that funding and making sure that it was allocated properly. But it is our staff who truly has the vision for what is needed. So I thank them, all of them that are here, and especially our administrator, Mr. Murgo, for his leadership in guiding us to know the kinds of things that we as a council need to be mindful of. I'm especially thankful for the opportunity not only for our veterans, but for our election commission. The election process is by far the most amazing privilege that we have as citizens. And so for our citizens of Lexington County to have a place to come to that is spacious, that is a good working environment, but it's a place that welcomes you to do your business. Anything that you might need to take care of, any questions you may have, or anyone that you might be helping during a campaign or whatever the reason may be. It's a great place for you to be able to come and handle the business of the people. Because truly that's what it is. We are here to serve the people. And so for this building to be renovated and to be so beautiful and to be able to provide for the citizens what they need in an excellent way, I'm very excited. Thank you for the privilege to come before you, and I will turn it back over to Joe. Thank you so much.
I do want to recognize Mr. David O'Mara for being here. David is the director of the Dorn VA Medical Hospital here at the Medical Center, so thank you for being here. Saw Mr. Bill Dukes here earlier. Saw Charlie Farrell here. A lot of folks representing our veterans agencies that are here. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jim Glatz, the senior pastor of Saxagotha Presbyterian Church, with today's blessing.
You know, and Joe mentioned that this facility is going to be dedicated. I thought it was really interesting that you have the Veterans Affairs on the one side and the Office of the Registration for Voters on the other. It's kind of an interesting combination because without this one, you don't have that one, right? You know, and it's without the sacrifices of our veterans and those who paid the ultimate sacrifice that we were able to have this office where we can freely vote. I thought it'd be good to use a prayer from history, and there's actually a prayer that President Franklin Delano Roosevelt used on June 4th, 1944. And what happened that day? June 4th, 1944, or June 6th, 1944 was D-Day. And It was one of those days where there was a lot of uncertainty, but the country was fighting a terrible evil. We still are fighting a terrible evil in the form of radical Islamic terrorism, and our longest war is that in Afghanistan, and we still have people serving in other places, other hotspots throughout the world. So I thought it'd be good to use that particular prayer as a guide to pray for our country, and I think it is a good model how to pray for our country. And he began, he did this over the radio, and he said, "My fellow Americans, last night when I spoke to you about the fall of Rome, I knew that at that moment that the troops of the United States and our allies were crossing the channel in another and greater operation. It has come to pass with success thus far. And so in this poignant hour, I ask you to join with me in prayer." So let's say this prayer together. Almighty God, our sons, pride of our nation, this day have set upon a mighty endeavor, a struggle to preserve our republic, our religion, and our civilization, and to set free a suffering humanity. Lead them straight and true, give them strength to their arms, stoutness in their hearts, and steadfastness in their faith. They will need thy blessing. Their road will be long and hard, for the enemy is strong. He may hurl back our forces. Success may not come with rushing speed, but we shall return again and again, and we know that by thy grace and by the righteousness of our cause, our sons will triumph. They will be sore tired by night and by day, without rest until the victory is won. The darkness will be rent by noise and flame. Men's souls will be shaken with the violences of war. For these men are lately drawn from the ways of peace. They fight not for the lust of conquest, they fight to end conquest. They fight to liberate, they fight to let justice arise, and tolerance and goodwill among all thy people. They yearn but for the end of battle, for the return to the haven of home. Some will never return. Embrace these, Father, and receive them, thy heroic servants, into thy kingdom. And for us at home, fathers, mothers, children's wives, sisters and brothers of brave men overseas, those thoughts and prayers are ever with them. Help us, Almighty God, to rededicate ourselves in renewed faith in thee in this hour of great sacrifice. Many people have urged that I call the nation in a single day of special prayer. But because the road is long and the desire is great, I ask that our people devote themselves to a continuance of prayer as we rise to each new day. And again, when each day is spent, let words of prayer be on our lips, invoking thy help to our efforts. Give us strength to strengthen our daily tasks, to redouble the contributions we make to the physical and material support of our armed forces. And let our hearts be stout to wait out the long travail, to bear sorrows that may come, to impart our courage unto our sons wherever they may be. And Almighty Lord, give us faith in thee, faith in our sons, faith in each other, faith in our united crusade. Let not the keenness of our spirit ever be dulled. Let not the impacts of temporary events, of temporal matters, but fleeting moments, let not these deter us from our unconquerable purpose. With thy blessing, we shall prevail over the unholy forces of our enemy. Help us to conquer the apostles of greed and racial arrogancies. Lead us into the saving of our country, and with our sister nations into a world unity that will spell a sure peace, a peace invulnerable to the schemings of unworthy men, and a peace that will let all men live in freedom, reaping the just rewards of their honest toil. Thy will be done, Almighty God. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jim. And now for the special singing of the national anthem, Ms. Constance Fleming, board member and member of our Registration Elections Commission.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars you're still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
How many of y'all wish you could sing like that? That was awesome. That was awesome. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance, the Lexington County Veterans Group of our Veterans Affairs, if they want to come forward. You know, we don't get to do this often, but if we could, I think we need to give a round of applause to all of our veterans who are here today. Thank you so much for your sacrifice for us. At this time, for the first initial special remarks, the Honorable Kit Spires, South Carolina House of Representatives, and the Chairman of the Lexington County Legislative Delegation.
Thank you, Joe. Thank everybody for coming today. It's an honor to be here. On behalf of the delegation, I want to welcome you here to the dedication. I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank council and administration for getting this facility to a situation to where all the citizens of Lexington County can use it. I know as chairman of the delegation, we're proud to relocate in this building. It will allow us more flexibility to meet with our veterans and other constituents that we have. It'll also allow other members of the county to have meetings that they can focus on the issues of the county. We have people that are moving in this county every day because we have a great environment here, not only to live and to grow as a family. We have a great sheriff's department that we feel safe here. We have industry coming in. At a state level, we're recognized not only in this state but in other states as to what we do in Lexington County. I hear it all the time at State House that, you know, a lot of people are envious of Lexington County for what we have in terms of our schools and everything. As a sidelight, I met an individual the other day in Chapin. They had moved here from Maine, and I asked him, I said, why do you move to South Carolina and specifically Lexington County? He said that they had looked it up, and we got high ratings on a lot of the issues that they were concerned about as retired people. You know, the ability to feel safe, the ability for a community, the ability of a growing county that looks after its people. And also they said the weather's much greater here than in Maine. Because the young lady, she's about 80 years old, she said it's nice to go out even in March and sit on the porch in your road in South Carolina. So, you know, that's something that we're proud of here in Lexington County. At a statewide level, we're proud of our county. We work hard for our county. And we ask that any of our constituents that need assistance, don't hesitate to call us. As I said, relocating in this building will allow us more flexibility to meet with our constituents. We're not on this time restraint. You know, we can meet at all times, 24/7, to handle issues that the people need in this county. Again, thank y'all for coming today. And if we as a delegation can be any of assistance locally or statewide, don't hesitate to call us. And thank y'all again.
Now, Mr. Dean Krebs, the Director of Registration and Election.
Thank you, Mr. Murgo. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to recognize my board member over to my right. I have past and present members here. Raise your hand, please, so they can see. These people keep me in line. And over to my right also, I have my staff members over here. There's 6 of them there. Raise your hands. They make me look good, if you know what I mean. Okay?
Amen.
Thank you for being here today for the official opening of the Lexington County Voter Registration and Election Office. As you can see, we have a great facility to better serve the voters of Lexington County. We do registration, districting, and all voting. If there's voting in Lexington County, we do it. After the last 2010 census, we had to re-precinct every voter into correct political representation districts. We have congressional, Senate, and House, which are federal. We have South Carolina State and City, House, county from solicitor to county council, school districts, watershed, magistrates, municipals, and even some municipals have districts. We have every possible political map from watershed to school board to congressional house district to ensure accuracy. During a general election, we have over 60 different ballot styles throughout the county, meaning a voter in Chapin will only share about 20% of their ballot with someone in Pillion. The rest is different based on local representation. During my years involved in voter registration, the county has grown from 122,000 voters in 75 precincts in 2004 to 182,096 precincts today. If the current trend continues, in 5 years, we'll have an estimated 230 voters and growing. With this, precincts will have to be reorganized, some created, and this new facility will help carry elections well into this century. In 2004, some of you still remember we used the punch cards. In November of 2004, we used for the first time the electronic voting equipment. Quicker, accurate, and very quick in preparation for precinct issue for voting. Make things a lot easier. I have been asked, what do we do in the off years? The off years, also known as the odd years, where there is not a presidential or gubernatorial election. We do not know what off year means. To give an example, for the number of elections, 2017, the last calendar year, last year, we did 21 general and special elections. Yes, some were much smaller, but the preparation required is the same regardless of the election size. Just different in equipment that must be prepared, tested, and issued. At times, we've had up to 4 different elections at one time. In 2004, we had 10,000 absentee voters. I said it cannot get any busier. Last general election, 2016, we had over 30,000 total absentee voters. Approximately 9,000 of those were by mail, the rest were walk-in. We expect this again for November 2018. This new facility will allow us to serve voters quicker with less line time for absentee walk-in. Every election, whether it is a municipal or full countywide general, we are required to train every poll worker. The facility has new training rooms that are perfect for small or large groups. These rooms have already been used multiple times for training of poll workers for elections. In our back storage room, we have 670 electronic voting machines, which are distributed to individual precincts during the elections. 60 laptops for EVRL, which is our electronic voter registration list. Numerous forms and parts needed to support elections. If a cable or a printer on one of our compacts breaks, we can immediately repair. Keeping equipment ready is not only our high standard, but also a standard that is in Lexington County. After this, we'll have an open house. Please walk through, ask questions. I've always had an open door policy for anyone that wants to see how it works. Ask any staff member, and they will be more than willing to show or answer any questions. The Unity Room, and it's actually called Unity Room, where everything happens from comparing, testing, counting, auditing. Unity is what makes everything click and work. Also today, some people will be coming back to visit me again, starting at 12 noon. Filing begins for specific offices that are up for election, starting with the June primary in a couple of months. Again, thank you for attending, and we look forward to meeting you in the office.
Miss Leanne Weldon, are you here? Can you raise your hand? Thank you for being here. Miss Weldon is the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Director for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Thank you for coming. At this time, Mr. Ed Lundeen, our own Lexington County Veterans Affairs Director.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Joe. You stole some of my thunder, but that's all right. It may be a great day in South Carolina, but it's an even bigger, exciting, and greater day in Lexington County. A county we love dearly that sits on the cusp of transformation from an agricultural county into an industrial county. Welcome all of you to this wonderful event that took 4.5 years in the making. We are honored by your presence and excited this day is here. I begin these remarks with gratitude, and I thank the good Lord for making this day possible and blessing us with a wonderful office complex and beautiful weather today. Thank you to all veterans who are in attendance, not only for being here, but more importantly, thank you for your service to this great nation. Thank you to our Lexington County Veterans Group, for leading the Pledge of Allegiance. And Ms. Constance, thank you for singing the national anthem in that beautiful voice that you always have. I wish I could sing like you. Thank you, County Council, for approving this renovation of this old building into one of the finest in the county. Thank you for listening to county leadership and believing in this project. The idea for this originated from a person who does not want credit or recognition. And I thought he was going to be present with us today, but he's not here. But I will honor his request and leave his name out. But from the bottom of my heart, I thank him as a dear friend, and he knows who he is. Veterans have a place in his heart, and I'm very thankful for his service to this great county. We welcome Gold Star and Blue Star families. Welcome our Lexington County Legislative Delegation, as well as my colleagues employed by Lexington County. My office partners with many other agencies to be successful in our endeavor of serving veterans. They are in attendance today. Welcome the leadership from the Federal VA office in Columbia. So Leanne, who you want to get with, you've got a claim pending, by the way. So thanks for busting her out, Jeff. Welcome the leadership from the Dorn VA Medical Center. We welcome the staff of the South Carolina Division of Veterans Affairs. Welcome to my colleagues from other county VA offices across the state, along with my brothers and sisters in the South Carolina Association of County Veteran Affairs Officers. Welcome to leadership and my brothers and sisters from the veteran service organizations in this great county. And welcome local community leaders and the general public. We couldn't do it without all of you. And we are honored you are here to share this important ceremony in the history of your Lexington County VA office. Our county administrator gathered leadership together over 1,627 days ago in August 2013 to discuss renovating this old building. Now, some of you might think that sounds like a prison sentence. Some of you think, well, that's how long my VA appeal took. Well, that's probably true. As you can see, it has been converted from a storefront to an office front. We were in disbelief at that meeting, but immediately after it, my office and I began to prepare what we wanted to look like, and I'm proud to say it far exceeds all of our expectations. This Veteran Affairs office, in my opinion, is now the finest VA office in the great state of South Carolina, and my staff and I are extremely grateful for it and humbled to serve veterans here. You're all invited to our open house immediately after this ceremony until 12 noon. Then you got to get out. For the first time in the 80-plus year history of this office, it is designed for the people she serves, disabled veterans. And I must say, it is about time. No longer are we in the basement of a courthouse or in a small memorial building or in the back of a former grocery store. We're up front where we belong to serve the very people that make freedom possible in this country. We serve the greatest people in the world. Thank you to my staff. Y'all throw your hands up. They're right there. For putting up with me all these years and making our move into the new office smoothly and kind of fun. We made it to the promised land together. And there isn't anyone else that I would have wanted to take this journey with. I love you guys. I purposely have not mentioned anyone by name because there are too many, and I didn't want to leave anyone out. My mother's here today. Thanks, Mom, for being here. But there is one person I do want to recognize by name, Mrs. Mary Hazelton, standing to my left right here in the black dress. She has the distinction of being the oldest former employee of this office. Ms. Mary was hired in 1944 to work with Dr. R.H. Fulmer, who most of us know is a Lexington County icon. Yours truly attended R.H. Fulmer Junior High School, now Fulmer Middle School. Ms. Mary, thank you so much for being here. I hope to get a hug from you later, which I already got one, but I'll take another one. It personally means a lot to me to have you here in attendance today. I will close these remarks to remind all of us that freedom is not free. It has been paid for by those who served and sacrificed for this great nation. It is an honor to serve veterans, and now they are better served in the fantastic facilities we have been given. God bless all of you, and God bless the only county in the state of South Carolina, Lexington County.
Thank you, Ed. At this time, we're going to do two separate ribbon cuttings. So we're going to do one in front of the doors of Veterans Affairs. We're going to do that one first. So all of our veterans that are here, election members of Lexington County Council, Director Ed Lundeen, and our legislative delegation members, if they want to gather over here on my left in front of the doors, and we're going to have a ribbon here and take pictures. And then as soon as we finish that, on the right, for the registration elections, it'll be Lexington County Council, our election commissioners, Dean Krebs, and our legislative delegation. And then once the ribbons are cut, you all are free to take a tour of both the offices. Thank you all so much.
If I don't have pictures, I'll be in front of it.
Redo the whole show.
Get over here too. I just really keep moving it, don't I?
Come on up here, guys. We'll stand up here with you. You guys make me look good, like I said.